So we're comparing Montemayor Marbella Club Resort to La Zagaleta and El Madrigal. Hello everybody, I'm Sean Woolley, Managing Director of Cloud9 Spain. With me today, I'm delighted to have Jackie Waters.
Hi.
And Debbie Lush.
Hello.
Two of our directors who are out there on the road with clients a lot of the time. So I brought them along with me today to talk about a couple of areas that are very familiar to us and very familiar to a lot of our buyers. But we did a video about it a couple of years ago now. So we're just doing an update really because we've been very busy and very active in those areas. So we just wanted to revisit the whole subject and see what we thought. So the areas in question are La Zagaleta and the neighbouring resort of El Madrigal. And both of those are situated on the Ronda Road above San Pedro de Alcántara. Zagaleta is very, very famous. It's probably the most prestigious address in southern Spain, certainly in the Mediterranean basin. It has one private, one semi-private 18-hole golf course, equestrian centre, very stringent security. It's a vast area, multi-million euro homes, as you can imagine. El Madrigal is kind of like the less outspoken brother or sister, just over the road. It has very, very similar topography, very similar houses, but doesn't have as many facilities. So it doesn't have the golf course, doesn't have the equestrian centre, still has very good security, but just a slightly lower key place. So we're comparing those two areas with another two neighbouring areas on the other side of the Ben Abbas Valley. One is Marbella Club Golf Resort, which is associated to and owned by the Marbella Club Hotel. Has an 18-hole golf course, again semi-private. It has an equestrian centre, has a beautiful clubhouse and bar and restaurant. A little bit more intimate, I think. And then the neighbouring area is Montemayor, which for those of you who watch our videos on a consistent basis will know that's where I live at the moment. And so we're comparing Montemayor Marbella Club Resort to La Zagaleta and El Madrigal, seeing where the value is, seeing where our clients are investing and why they're choosing particular areas. Over to you. So let's start by looking at La Zagaleta, Madrigal. Both of you have sold in Zagaleta in the last 12 months. Is it still top drawer? Is it still the place where the creme de la creme want to hang out?
I think from a client's perspective now, we're seeing a younger generation that have got an interest in La Zagaleta, where it used to be the old generation. The younger generation are expressing an interest. There's a lot of new builds there, there's a lot of new construction going on, a lot of modern houses. So it's generating a lot of interest for the younger people who have young families, who are concerned about the security. Mm-hmm. And as we know, I think Zagaleta's got the top security that you're ever going to have in this part of the world, to be honest. Yeah. And I think when you've got children, that is the main concern. They like the facilities, the equestrian centre. As we know, they're going to be doing a water sports facility. Also, possibly with the hotel that's going to be, which is still in discussions, I believe. I think they're really making Zagaleta a more young and kind of livelier place, if you know what I mean.
That's interesting because my next question was, is it a place for families? Because what we've seen, like you've just alluded to, is we've got a generational change going on at Zagaleta. So the people who initially invested there 20, 30 years ago probably chose the best plots and built these amazing houses. In fairness, they're all getting to a certain age now, aren't they? They're getting to the prime of their life, but they're all starting to downsize. And so we're left with what Zagaleta themselves will say is a generational change within the estate, where their original set of residents are now dying off. That's terrible. Moving on. And so it's leaving younger, fresher blood coming into the urbanisation. But I've had a couple of clients up there, and they're probably not as recent as you guys, but for families, a few of them have said, not for us. Yeah. But I think that's changing, isn't it?
I think so. I think a lot of people it is 20 minutes down. It's not the end of the world, but most of the younger people that live there have got their own drivers anyway. So if the children do need taking to school, if they do want to go out for the evening, Puente Romano, wherever for dinner, they've got someone who can drive them there. And I think they're getting their head around that now, whereas before it was like sort of 50, 55, 60, it's like, oh, we can't keep going out and getting a cab and everything else. But now I think a lot of these younger, affluent people, shall we say, have all got their own drivers. to take them here, there and everywhere. It's not, you know, I mean, we all know to drive from Estepona to Marbella, you could be sat in traffic for 40, 45 minutes. And I think people are just...
What do you think?
My client has just bought in there, and he does have a young child, and that's one of the reasons he bought, was because what is there to do for kids? And they have a barbecue day, they have an annual barbecue day, they have a kids club, there's the equestrian centre, they've got the on-site organic shop, they've got the 2 restaurants, you know, the old clubhouse has just been done up. So there's a lot going on there, actually.
A lot of social activities.
And as you rightly said, the age of people that are buying there has now dropped, and it's more family orientated.
I mean, it's never going to become Centre Parks, is it?
No.
But it's a beautiful place to be. Do you think the main draw up there is the security?
I think
Or is it the
security,
golf, or-
privacy, people who don't want to be known out there, because there's a lot of, you know, high-end clients that have bought in that part of the world that don't necessarily want to be sort of out there, if you like, because as we know with Zagaleta, it's extremely private and confidential. I mean, the houses I've sold, I've never even known who the seller is. It's always been that top private confidential. So I think they're going to probably keep that till the day, well, whenever. It's not. I don't think that'll change, to be honest.
Okay. I mean, in terms of pricing in Zagaleta, we get updates every week from the guys on the estate, and we are one of their what they call exclusive agents. So when we have a client, we take them in there, we get the full tour, we get wined and dined occasionally. No, but we get shown around and we get treated very nicely.
Yeah.
And we get shown the helipad and the equestrian centre. So if you're a client that wants to explore, then it's a good opportunity to do so without having to meet 15 different agents. You can look at everything at a nice leisurely pace. But the price-wise, last price list I got, I think the cheapest villa was like €2 million, but that was
Needs knocking
almost
down.
a wreck. Yeah. The average price point is, I'm guessing, sort of 5 million upwards, isn't it? 4 or 5 million.
6, yeah.
Yeah.
It's more choice of 5 and above now than there.
I know we saw an extravagant house the other day, which
We
is
did.
probably going to be priced at around 30 million euros. I think the record price to have been fetched up there is over 30, isn't it? But there are some amazing houses. What, of course, you've got to remember about the generational change is that a lot of the best plots, the sea view plots, have already been taken and built on.
I have.
So very often you're faced with a choice of if you want to plot and build, if you want to do it yourself, very often you've either got to buy something that's already existing at quite a cost, tear it down, or keep the bones of it and alter it, or you have to start from scratch. But the only plots really that are available at a decent price are in the new phase, where there's going to be quite a lot of construction, isn't there, over the next 5 to 10 years, particularly if they start talking about building a hotel. So there's pros and cons to different areas and different phases of Zagaleta.
There are some plots available with sea views. They're over 5 million, obviously, but one has got a house on it, which it's nearly 10,000 metres, this plot, and you could basically extend the build. It's got a lot of developing potential, but the other one is amazing views. But again, it's just over 5 million. But if you want a sea view, you've got to pay for a sea view.
I think also what we've noticed is a lot of clients who inquire about La Zagaleta, they really appreciate talking to us as objective people, because obviously we're not employed by Zagaleta. We represent them. We show Zagaleta along with other areas, but I think it means we can remain objective and we can show them the pros and the cons, and we can be very honest with them. And I think people like that, and they like the fact that we've just been up there last week or yesterday having a look at stuff. So we can, straight away when you make an inquiry, we can talk to you about that house and that house and that house and that plot. So yeah, we tend to do quite well.
Yeah, and I
with
think
that.
when you're telling them things like you've just said, there is going to be development here for the next year, 18 months, they go, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, these guys are spending 5-10 million on a house. And we're going to be honest with them and say, look, you know, that's the kind of service I like, so I'm sure we all do, like to give our client, and that goes a long way.
What about Al Madronal then? So the one just over the road from Zagaleta. Does it tickle your fancy?
No, not me. No, it's a lovely area. It is a really nice area, but when you're working so closely with La Zagaleta, we're fortunate with the collaboration, and you go in and you get the tour and you see the facilities. There's not that much more. It's a beautiful place, Madronal. It's stunning. But for me, if I was looking to buy that kind of price bracket, I wouldn't even consider Madronal.
See, I like Madronal. I used to have a plot there that I very nearly started building out, but the recession came. Thank God I hadn't started. But I love Madronel because it's very, very similar to Zagaleta. I'm not a golfer, so I don't need a golf course. I better stay away from horses, so that's off for me. So Madronel kind of ticks my boxes because it feels very secure. So it has a good feeling of security. The topography is the same in terms of the landscape.
Yeah.
The houses are quite similar, but they're about 30-40% less.
Exactly, but you live in Montemayor, so you like that kind of...
Don't tar me with the same brush. No, yeah, I know
No, do you see what
mean.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like facilities and all that.
Yeah.
You know, you're more in... I know they're all in the countryside, but you're more in an I don't know, how can I explain it? You're not amongst...
Underdeveloped.
Yeah, basically, you're in the real countryside, if you like.
Yeah. What about you? Any thoughts? Would you prefer to have a place where there's a few amenities, or would you prefer to spend a little bit less and be over the road, on the cheap side of the Rhondda Road?
I don't do cheap, darling. So
Well, no,
I mean,
of course
what
not.
else can I
Absolutely.
say? It really depends on the client and their requirements. And you know, I think the security is a big thing for the Zagaleta clients. Certainly was for my client. And if they need those facilities, or are they willing to be over the other side of the road and pay a bit less, or
Yeah.
you know, it comes down to what they want. It's not really.
I also think sometimes, clients only want Zagaleta because they've heard about it, or they've got
name.
friends there, and they have to be there. They won't even look at anywhere else.
It's got the name.
It's got the name.
Got the reputation,
Yeah.
hasn't
It's a bit like buying a car, isn't it? If you've got the money to afford the best, you buy the best.
Exactly. You're not going to
And,
buy a Mini if you can buy a Rolls Royce, are you? You know.
Well, that's right. So let's talk about the other side of the valley. The valley. So the other side of Ben Abbas Village, we've got the place where I live, which is Montemayor, and we've got Marbella Club Golf Resort. And the reason I'm comparing these with these is because to me they're very similar. You've got Marbella Club Golf Resort, which I think is like a little mini La Zagaleta. Not quite Zagaleta, look, don't get me wrong, but it just feels similar. You've got the equestrian centre, you've got the security, you've got the, albeit much smaller clubhouse, you've got the 18-hole golf course where they prioritise members and hotel guests. And then you've got Montemayor, which to me is like a little mini El Madronel, where you've got the lush green landscape and 24-hour security, but not a lot else.
Yeah.
Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
100%.
how do you think Montemayor and Marbella Club Golf Resort stack up as an alternative to Zagaleta Madronel? Are we finding more clients wanting to explore? Are they being priced out of Zagaleta?
I haven't seen that, no. But then I think the inquiries that we tend to get are specifically related to an area. And if your client wants security and wants this and they came in on Zagaleta, I don't think it would be a good idea to say, well, do you want to look at Montemayor? They've come in on the name. They want to be part of the estate. But as an alternative, yeah, it is good.
So if they find themselves priced out, so if they
Yeah.
look at properties that, I don't know, 4 or 5 million, they can't get what they want in terms of views, orientation or style, we swap them into maybe somewhere like Marbella Club Golf Resort,
Exactly.
where you probably can tick a few more boxes with that budget. I've noticed the feedback from some of my clients when I've shown them both Zagaleta and Marbella Club Golf Resort. You always get a portion of your client base that, as you said, will only look at Zagaleta and just wants that. But I've also had clients, and whether they're saying this because that's what they can comfortably afford rather than Zagaleta, I've had clients looking at Marbella Club Golf Resort who feel much more at home there. They feel it's more intimate. They go into the clubhouse, because it's smaller, it's like, hello, hello, hello. Whereas Zagaleta can feel a little bit, who's that? Who's that? Do you know what I mean?
Ostentatious.
Or is that
It's
just me
very
being a bit
friendly.
sensitive?
It's very friendly in Marbella Club Golf Resort and Montemayor. Like you go down to the clubhouse, you have lunch. They know us. They're really
Even the
friendly.
Guardia Civil pop in for a coffee.
Yeah. There's no pretentious. You don't
No,
have
there's
to
not.
wear your Rolex watch. You can go down in your flip flops and your Bermuda shorts.
They won't let you
And-
in. They won't let you in. No, well, that's how I feel, because we go there quite a lot because it's on our doorstep.
Yeah.
So we kind of hang out there.
Great restaurant.
We're known by the waiters, and it's nice to have a little bit of Marbella Club kind of fussing, like, you know, cloth napkins. I know I've mentioned that before in videos. Cloth napkins, nice food. So you feel like, oh, I've just had a little bit of a Marbella Club experience, but without the massive expense, because it's not expensive. And I take a lot of clients there, God help them. And they do feel at home because it's a little bit more intimate. And a lot of them say the golf course is really nice. And it, you know, the price point is different. Although, having said that, I noticed there's a massive, big, white villa just being released for 13 million, and there's another one for 9 point something. So the prices are starting to creep up. And I'm just wondering, do you think it will ever be a direct rival?
I think it's definitely gaining
No,
momentum.
it's
though.
gaining, but the thing is,
Yeah.
with Zagletta, you can't just pop in for lunch. You can't, whereas you can, Marbella, I love Marbella, I love the restaurant. I
Yeah.
think it's a great restaurant. But you can just wander in on a Saturday afternoon for
Even
your...
people in the flip-flops and shorts come down.
For your tempura goat's cheese salad,
Yes.
which is the best ever.
Yeah.
I mean, but you can't do that in La Zagletta.
Which will appeal to most people who
But
want
not
that
everybody.
exclusivity
Yeah.
and privacy. But some people will be thinking, oh, looking at the same old faces again. in here.
Exactly. But you know, I think they're both very similar in sort of countryside and everything else. But when it comes to facilities, I think they're two totally different objects myself.
Okay. Where does Montemayor fit into all this?
Oh, we've got to be nice now, haven't we?
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
I do love Montemayor.
It's lovely.
We were up there yesterday. You were up there 2 days ago.
We
weren't
were
you?
all
3
up
days.
there
We've
this
all
week,
been up
yeah.
there.
Listed two houses.
No,
there
you can
in
say
the
what you
past
want. Look, I live there. I've chosen to live there, but I always appreciate honest feedback.
week. It's lovely. It's a lovely area. It's a really nice area.
I don't want too many people moving up. No, seriously, where does it fit in?
I think it fits in again for the family.
Do you?
Yeah, I do actually. Affordability, if they want the views.
Saying I'm cheap.
Yeah, of course, you've always been cheap. But no, if they've got a family and they want sea views, I mean, some of the sea views you get in Montemayor would probably cost you 9-10 million in Marbella.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're looking for, you know, an all-round package, for less than 2 million, you've got a great house with an amazing view. Is it for families? Yeah, I think it can be. A lot of people that do go on holiday with kids, they tend not to go out gallivanting. They'll have the barbecues, they'll have this, they'll have that. So yeah, I do think, and it's not, you know, it's not an hour, is it, to the coast? It's 15, 20 minutes.
12 minutes to the Mercadona supermarket and the Bel Air pharmacy.
There you go.
There you go.
Is that where you go the most?
By helicopter. What do you think of it? You were up there with me yesterday. We were showing clients, two lots of clients around. I think I can see you in Montemayor.
So let's just rewind, okay, a little bit, because I wasn't always a fan of Montemayor. In fact, there was a time when I just thought, oh my goodness, this is up in the hills, it's just too far away. Who would ever live up here? Boy, was I wrong. And then once I started doing viewings up there and going to the Marbella Club restaurant and seeing the golf course and getting to know it, I thought, actually, this is fabulous. I feel it's a little hidden gem away from the hustle and bustle of Puerto Banús and Marbella, which is Marbella is just totally saturated now with buildings. It's getting very built up and it's incredibly busy. And I feel that Montemayor is just the perfect in between because you're not an hour into the hills. You're very well connected. You can go through Los Flamencos and get down to Cancelada. You can go the other way and go to Benavis. You can go straight down to the A7 as well at Ben Atalaya. So it's a really happy medium, and yet it's tranquil and it's so peaceful. Up there yesterday, I felt so blessed that I was up there on a super sunny day with nice clients, yes, with him, looking at these magnificent properties and plots. And it was just glorious. And
When are you moving in?
well, when you buy me a house,
There you go.
can you advance on my
Advance on
salary,
commissions,
please?
yeah, that'll be nice.
And I'll just move in.
Oh dear. And I think what I've noticed in Montemayor even the last few weeks is younger people, again, like
Yeah.
you said. I think COVID has changed a lot of people's lives, hasn't
Totally,
it? I think people don't
100%.
mind now. They want to be at nature because they want somewhere they can live, they can entertain, and they
Can
can
work.
work. And so you need a little bit of space, don't you, to do that? And I think a lot of people are finding themselves actually looking at different things than they would otherwise have looked at.
You've got the cycling, you've got the trekking. There's so much to do in Montemayor, really. Well, you don't get yourself out of the house. But
Horse
I mean,
riding.
There's a lot to do around there. Yeah. No, there is a lot. If you're a naturist and you want to walk, I walk
Is
dogs.
that
Not a
people that take the
naturist.
clothes off?
Well, there's a couple in his house, I hear.
Hey.
No, but if you want to got dogs or anything, you want to walk. There's a lot of walking, a lot of
Yeah.
trekking to be done. It's a really pretty
The
area.
other thing about Montemayor, talking to dogs, don't get excited. There's lots of dogs. A lot of owners have dogs. You never hear them barking. Now, you've got dogs, you've got cats, but you'd think one would start off and then they'd all start.
Yeah, but
No,
the beauty of
don't get any
Montemayor, the houses are so far away from each other.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't hear them across the valley.
Maybe they've all got little.
Well, the shepherd goes over there with his
Oh yeah, with the goats.
with the goats, yeah, and
Yeah,
then they've
that's
got
true.
bells on.
We do
so,
have
yeah.
deer and the odd wild boar.
Yeah, it's a lovely area. It is a really nice area. I think more value there than to be honest.
Than the
Views,
other
sea
place,
views and everything there than you're going to get in Marbella. That's what I always say to
I
clients.
mean, it's not for everyone because
No.
it is that just set back a little bit. I mean, I used to live in Los Flamingos for 12 years. I was very, very happy there. And even like a 7-minute journey from Los Flamingos back into Montemayor was like, oh, yeah, you speak to people in London, don't you? And people are like, 7 minutes. You take it.
How's your commute today? Yeah.
Oh, I know. You know,
3 hours and
here we moan, don't we? Like driving. What? It's 12 minutes to the supermarket. How do you cope? And It's like
Exactly.
imagine that in England.
When you think in England, you probably did longer than that anyway, and then you were queuing in the car park to get in.
Yeah, I used to
So-
drive an hour to work every day,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
anyway.
I used to travel 3 hours in car, an hour and a half in the morning and an hour and a half in the evening to get back. And I thought, that's a time in my life that I'll never get back.
It's true, isn't it?
So I came here, and it's amazing, but you do
And you
get...
still moan.
I still moan, but we do get very lazy. I mean, I wouldn't go to Malaga, that's miles away. But you
I
do
know,
get
it's true,
very
isn't it?
lazy, especially in this heat in August, you know.
Yeah, no, it's true. Well, that's our little wrap up of Montemayor, Marbella Club Golf Resort, La Zagaleta, and El Madronal. There's something for everyone. It's just finding where you belong, where your tribe is, where you feel comfortable. We'll gladly show you all 4 of those options and more. Prices start really for a villa at around about 1.5 to 2 million euros, upwards to anything in excess of 30 million. So, yeah, whatever your budget, we'll be happy to help. Thanks, ladies, for
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
Thank you.